everybody. Hi everybody. Welcome to my masterclass for February. So it's Mel here from Mrs. B's Book Nook, and I'm here to talk to you about the contribution that I made to February's 3 hours box. So welcome. So if you are watching with me, please do give me some likes, or if you're watching on replay, do give me #replay. So how are you all? How is everything? How many of any of you on half term this week, or were you on half term last week? I'd love to know. So yes, so this month in the 3 hours box you got one of our young adult fiction titles. You got the title of Love Radio. Now this one is, as I say, from our young adult range, and yeah, it is, on the back it says the best love story is the one that you write yourself. And this, I think, is a really good introduction to some of our young adult fiction. I do think perhaps sometimes when I say to people in my book nook, in my own book club, and I say, oh, it's young adult fiction, I think it's very much, people think, oh, young adult fiction, why would I be why am I reading young adult fiction? If that's too young for me, it's all going to be like schoolgirl crushes, all that kind of thing. And actually, the young adult fiction, there is a lot of different topics, lots of up to things that are happening in the world these days for our young people. Some of the books, they address things like mental health issues. They address things like to do with social media, and all the the things that what's the word I'm trying to find? But all the pressures that are put onto young people. I couldn't think of my words then. Sorry, I do apologise. All the pressures that are put onto young people from social media, from the television, from what's portrayed. Particularly thinking about young girls. And how they should look. Thinking about weight and appearance. All those kind of issues are addressed through the young adult fiction. So it's not just the teenage crush kind of story, the kind of Jackie type story at all. And the young adult fiction, I think it gives us a great insight into what is going on in the lives of our young people today. As a parent, it gives you a bit of an insight into it. It potentially opens up discussions as well, doesn't it? It could be that somebody reading that book has got mental health issues. It opens up having a conversation. It makes those young people realise, actually, it's not just me. There are other people out there. Other people have experienced this. Even if it's through a piece of fiction, it's actually putting those issues out there, opening up doors for them to talk about it as well. Now, one of the things that I really love about the young adult fiction, and I read a lot of the young adult fiction from Usborne, and what I really do like about it is the fact that I always say it's not War and Peace. It's not a Charles Dickens piece of work. It's not a bit of Shakespeare. For me, if I think about if I'm reading War and Peace, if I'm reading Shakespeare, if I'm reading Dickens, anything like that, even some of like the more modern writers, sometimes it takes a lot of concentration to read it, and actually when you put it down, you come back to it, it's sometimes I've found I've had to go back a little bit and reread just to make sure I've remembered, whereas actually the young adult fiction, they are a great one for being able to pick up and read as and when you can. Especially in today's times, we're all very busy, we're all running around, we've got so many different jobs to do, we've got different hats that we wear, everybody wants a bit of our time, so it's really hard to stop and relax and just take that bit of time out for yourself and immerse yourself into a whole new world. Go on an adventure yourself, go on a journey whilst curled up on the sofa, whilst tucked inside your hoodie on the settee or the chair, with a cup of hot chocolate or tea or whatever your fancy is. That time for us is very precious, and what you need is a novel that you can just pick up and dip straight back into. And even if it's just for your 10 minutes that day, just 10 minutes, and you can put it down and come back to it. Unfortunately, that doesn't work brilliantly for me, because I get engrossed, and when you get to a certain point in a book and you just have to keep on reading, and actually you think, I've been here now, I was supposed to be 10 minutes, I've been here for an hour. So one great tip that Rachel shared with me the other day was about putting a timer on your phone. So actually you are giving yourself the permission to have that 10 minutes, that 15 minutes, however long you decide you're going to read for, but when that timer goes off, you stop. Okay, because I'm a great one for going, right, I'll just read to the end of this chapter. I like to get to the end of a chapter and then I can stop. But then I get to the end of that chapter and I think, I just need to read the next one. You know, oh, this next chapter's quite short, I'll read the next one. So, you know, using a timer on your phone could help to just give yourself that little bit of time. And, you know, 10 to 20 minutes a day, you know, is great for just having that bit of time to read. And as I say, just immerse yourself in something. It's good for your mental health. It's, you know, it helps you take that bit of time out. So yeah, and these are great for just picking up and reading and running with, and then putting down and then picking up. And, you know, for those of us who have slight vision challenges, should I say, the print is that little bit larger as well, which makes it that little tiny bit easier to read as well, especially at night. Okay, so yeah, so the young adult fiction are a great introduction. You know, they are great. I think if you're somebody who hasn't read for a long time and wants to get back into the habit of reading, they are brilliant for just, as I say, being able to pick up and read and to get yourself in. They're not challenging texts, you know, like War and Peace or Dickens or whatever. So I really do enjoy these. So yeah, so Love Radio. I've just started reading this one, because I do have a really, really large to be read pile. Okay, but I've just started reading this one, and I must admit, you know, when I started reading, I was thinking, oh, this is an interesting one, but I think it's really, really going to develop into quite an interesting storyline. So I'm looking forward to reading more of that. So yeah, so Prince Jones is passionate about music and romance, dishing out relationship advice on his Love Radio show, but his own love life is looking kind of quiet until he meets Danny Ford. Danny isn't checking for anybody. She's focused on her plan to move to New York City to become a famous author, and avoiding her feelings about what happened at that party a few months ago. I have no idea, haven't got to that bit yet. When the two meet, sparks fly, but Danny's not looking to get derailed, so she gives Prince just 3 days to convince her that he's worth falling for. Okay, so I think there's some quite interesting topics to be explored through this story as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoy Love Radio, and that you enjoy reading this and enjoy the young adult fiction, and that this can help you create yourself a little bit of calm time, a little bit of time for you. As I say, even if it's just 10 minutes, put that timer on your phone, or say you're going to give yourself a chapter, and, you know, just read that chapter and then read the next chapter the next night, or whenever you plan to do your reading. It could well be if you've got children at home and they have a particular homework time or a time when they read, particularly if you've got children who are independent readers, then you could be sat alongside them reading your book as well. And again, promoting that love of reading and that really good role model as well. So yeah, I really do hope that you enjoy this addition to your February's box. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.